Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another episode of my Sims 4 Wishlist, where I talk about ideas I would like to see in the game and how I would like to see them implemented. So the topic today is pools, because it's been a long time since we've had any meaningful additions to them, the last being the pool rafts in Island Living. I guess you could even count boats, because you can technically use them in pools in addition to open water like the rivers and the lakes. But there's still so much more they could add. I'm surprised we still don't have a pool party event. And while this diving platform here is definitely one of my favorite new gameplay objects with the Get Together expansion, we're still missing that good old-fashioned diving board that we've had since the very beginning of The Sims. Even though there's some new stuff I would like to suggest that we haven't had in the previous Sims games, the previous Sims games are still a really good starting point for just common pool things that we really should have had back by now. The biggest one to me is actually the pool slides, because at least the diving platform is somewhat of a diving board, but slides are more unique animation-wise compared to what we already have in The Sims 4. Plus, they're just fun. I love how sometimes Sims even go down the slide head first. Pool slides, at least in my experience, are also very common, so even if the previous Sims games never existed, I'd still be like, huh, yeah, we really should get some pool slides. One thing I keep forgetting that we don't have in The Sims 4 is curved edges for the swimming pools. We finally got curved walls just before high school years, but they ended up being really glitchy, so I wonder if that's why we still don't have them yet. But if they were able to implement curved pool edges in The Sims 4 without them being super glitchy somehow, then I would welcome them back with open arms, because it would be nice to have the option to just round out those edges instead of them just being 90-degree angles every single time. Our Sims could also play Marco Polo in the pools in The Sims 2, and what's funny is that The Sims would say Tim Letourneau instead of Marco Polo, as a reference to someone who was a producer on The Sims 2, Tim Letourneau.
Tim La?
Turno!
No shit.
I also re-explored what we had for pools in The Sims 3, and in addition to all those things that we had in The Sims 2, we have pool waterfalls, which is another thing I honestly keep forgetting about. They're not a huge deal to me, but it still is a pretty cute little addition. But I guess more than anything, it is really good for decor. It definitely would be nice to be able to adjust the height of the waterfalls so it's not just the same height every time. The big one, though, is definitely the pool bars that you can actually have just built right into them. They're just such a fun addition, and I really hope those come back. Although we didn't have Marco Polo in The Sims 3, we had the Hold Breath contest, which I remember my Sims loved doing, but yeah, that was a fun little thing that we could do in the pools that I wish we also had again. One last thing we had in The Sims 3 that I'd absolutely love to see back is the wave simulator for surfing. I used that object so much, it was so fun. I loved how there's the seal that could sometimes come out and just trip up your Sims, and that could be placed both in the pool and in the ocean. I remember we also had a wave simulator in the console version in The Sims 2, so they could go with either one. One last thing, it's more something that goes with pools rather than being part of them exactly, but in-ground hot tubs would be nice to see back. We kinda sorta have them thanks to the hot spring object in Snowy Escape, but it still would be nice to have a more conventional kind of in-ground hot tub that isn't quite as large. But I don't want to lean entirely on what we had in the previous games. There are still some improvements that I think could be made that we've never seen in The Sims before. The first being pool steps. I'm shocked that we still haven't seen those in The Sims at all, because I see pool steps in many pools that I've been to in real life, so I think it would make a lot of sense to be able to have those in The Sims. And I think it would also be neat if we could have those sort of ropes that we have to block off different lanes of the pool, because I've seen that, I'm pretty sure, before as custom content, but the Sims still just go right through them. So it would be nice to have a way to truly define pool lanes and then maybe have some competitive swimming that way. It would be a nice method of just making the pool venue type in The Sims 4 more useful, because even though I love pools, I hardly use that venue type outside of Windenburg where there already is one. Synchronized swimming routines would also be pretty cool. I could imagine them doing that, where it's almost like group dancing, but just in the water. I would absolutely love to see water volleyball. We've only ever had volleyball in The Sims 1 with the Vacation expansion pack, but that was still only on land. And I would love to see just some more pool toys, like say the flutter boards and the swimming noodles that could especially help kids learn to swim. Swimming lessons would also be pretty nice, because we kind of have that in The Sims 4 already, where we could have a parent teach a kid how to swim, but we don't exactly have like swimming lessons with instructors and all that. So that would be another way of making the pool venues more usable, instead of just lumping them in with gyms or whatever lot type. It would also be nice to have beach balls that we could use in the water so Sims could just pass them to each other. So that was a lot more ideas than I even thought I was gonna have when I first started making this video. And it's just funny to think about that, oh, maybe it'd be enough to fill a whole game pack just relating to pool activities, as ridiculous as a game pack that would be, but I could almost imagine Maxis and EA doing that. I mean, we just got a whole expansion pack that was mainly about horses, but I was thinking, for the most part, these additions could be in a hobbies pack, because it could tie into like a fitness aspect of it. It could also be a great opportunity to have competitive and synchronized swimming, or even the water volleyball. Curved pool edges, if we get those back, would definitely be a free update. I would love to have pool slides for free, but they've always been paid content in The Sims, so I'm not expecting that to change. Another way I could see us getting more pools-related gameplay is through a hotels game pack, since pools are a staple of the hotel industry. And we actually did get pool waterfalls and pool bars with The Sims 3 Island Paradise, which had resorts as one of the main features. If a hotels game pack does happen, then I could also imagine that being the way that we would get in-ground hot tubs back that are smaller than the Snowy Escape hot spring. And that's pretty much it. There's just so many things they could add to pools, taking ideas from previous Sims games, as well as stuff that we've never seen in The Sims before. And it's just, it would be so fun if they added at least even like a quarter of the ideas that I suggested. And I'm sure there's other things that I didn't even think of. I mean, I also would love to see more boats in the game, because yeah, we can use the ones in The Sims 4 right now in the pools, but I keep thinking of them in association to the open water instead. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on your wish list for pools in The Sims 4. And be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!